Today's question comes from Doreen in Montana. She visited DaveRamsey.com and to ask, I was wondering, once baby step 2 is completed, is the plan to save only for an emergency fund? I want to also have some savings in the anticipation of a non-emergency items such as vet bills, car repairs, vacation, and home improvement. Does all this come after the emergency fund is complete on a sort of save as you go basis? Yeah, so your emergency fund is going to be definitely your next goal. And then everything else after that is what we call sinking funds. So you'll have different funds that you say, okay, I'm going to put a little bit of money each month into these funds. And so when something does come up, you have a vet bill, car repair, you just take it out of that sinking fund. Sinking funds are something we've talked about for a while. I feel like we haven't done a ton of like deep dives, or I haven't, teaching into these, but they're really crucial and they're very helpful to stay ahead, because when things do come up, because they will, you actually have the cash there, you've been saving for it, and instead of even taking it out of an emergency fund, you have some extra cash on the side for these times in life.
It's basically saying Christmas this year will be in December. And so you should plan for that.
Yep, save a little bit each month for it.
You should have money set aside for Christmas. Now, I personally would say you're going to budget, you're going to have money in your budget, and if you have a reasonably small vet bill, you're just going to put that in this month's budget. If you have a reasonably small car repair, you're going to put that in this month's budget. If you have a $3,000 vet bill or a $3,000 car repair, that comes out of the emergency fund. That's an emergency. If your transmission goes out, that's an emergency. That's not you don't need a separate sinking fund to get ready for someday your transmission going out. So unless you're in some kind of extreme situation with pets, you should cash flow 98% of vet bills out of your monthly budget as they come up.
Now, I'll say Winston and I, we have a line item in our budget for gas and repairs, and whatever money we don't spend on gas or repairs kind of floats over to the next month. So we just kind of keep it going.
That's not a bad idea on car repairs, because that does build up that way. It becomes a little savings account for...
That's kind of our car repairs of how we do it. Now, but
you pay for tires that are $1,000.
Exactly. But I will say with this, you're not having separate savings accounts for each of these little things.
No.
So you have to be pretty diligent to say, okay, no, we've had this amount of money in our account that we see, that percentage goes to this. You have to be on top of it, because it's easily, you just start to pile up some money, and then suddenly it starts to just disappear because you end up spending it. So you do have to be diligent with those sinking funds.
Yeah, but let's say you got 3 kids, okay? You don't have to have a line item for the pediatrician.
Right.
You can just cover that when it comes up.
Yes.
And you don't need a sinking fund for that.
Right.
Either one. If it came up and it was a big problem medically with a child, it would be an emergency out of the emergency fund.
Fair.
And so that, your fur babies would be the same thing, right? So we've both got dogs, and we don't have sinking funds for the dogs.